right, let's go to my friend up there in upstate New York, one of the best independent media guys I've ever been involved with. Just a level-headed guy, doesn't play that politic left-right crap. He's always said it's not left versus right, it's right versus wrong, and he's been the champion for quite a few different things, of course, over the years. But he really, how long ago you started pretty much following the Epstein thing? By the way, good to talk to you, bro. How you doing?
Very good to talk to you as well. Happy New Year. I know I didn't get in last week, but I'm doing very well. How about yourself, Ledge?
Good. Well, we're all sick here. Everybody's got the mung. So other than that, I'm okay. I'm
always sick.
I'm all hopped up on Dayquil right now, and I got a Red Bull in me, so I don't even know.
Oh, Red Bull too.
Yeah. Well, I needed some energy. So I don't even know where to start with this. It seems like every time, about once a week or twice a week, we get another story or another lead, if you will, on the Epstein case. More photos have been distributed, and we also, I guess we also know that there's rumors that Giselle is, how do you pronounce her name? I always get it wrong.
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine?
Ghislaine.
Yeah. She's like in a safe house or something? So, get us up to speed, bro. What's going on with all this stuff?
All right, so let's talk about Ghislaine Maxwell for a moment. Obviously, she is the most high-profile person still at large in this Jeffrey Epstein case. Now, because of that, I believe that there is a ton of disinformation being put out about her whereabouts, who's protecting her, and a lot more. Let me give you an example. About a month ago, it was all over the media that she was going to give a tell-all interview, and she was ready to do it and tell everybody how she was innocent. Well, she was never going to do that. That was Prince Andrew and his PR team putting that information in the hopes that she would do that. Okay? Now, this week, we have a new report that she's being protected by Navy SEALs. And I just like to say that there's no evidence of that. It's very possible that perhaps one of the people she's hired to protect her is an ex-Navy SEAL, but the idea that she's being surrounded by this government unit is also almost laughable. Now, she does seem to be protected. I mean, we haven't been able to get her, but with the information coming out about being in Israel, the UK, the chances that she's still there are slim to none, in my opinion, as she's been very good at utilizing the media for disinformation. Now, what do I mean? Well, when she first started making headlines, they said she was in Boston. Within the week, we had pictures of her supposedly at an In-N-Out Burger in Los Angeles. Now, those photos appeared to be heavily photoshopped, and they came from a place called the Mega Agency. Now, this is not the mega group that Whitney Webb talks about. This is kind of a pop-up agency that does promotion, takes pictures, that sort of thing. Started in 2016, 2017. Now, they've pretty much provided all of these pictures of Ghislaine Maxwell, including the new ones of her on that plane with Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, and Chris Tucker on that Epstein charity event where they were going through these African nations for humanitarian aid. Well, those photographs also came from the Mega Agency. So you put two and two together, and it looks like Ghislaine Maxwell is releasing these pictures through the Mega Agency in what I would imagine is a warning to those in power that she has much more evidence on them.
Wow.
That makes sense.
Wow.
If I were Bill Clinton, I'd be I'd be shaking in my boots.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but those photos, I mean, how do you get around that, Jason? I mean, he's standing at the top of the entranceway to the plane. He's posing with Maxwell, and of course, he's posing with one of the victims. And it just seems like it's not that anybody cares, but it seems like they're Teflon. The Clintons are just Teflon. And now, so you honestly think that this woman is kind of like, she's in charge here. She's not being this scared little victim, that she's actually playing her hand, if you will, to use kind of like a cards reference, where this is thought out, and there is an end game here. Is there an end game?
Well, whether it's her or the people that are protecting her, because her legal bills are enormous right now. In fact, we're going to have that ruling on the 10,000-page dump on the 16th. Now, aside from the other Epstein news, with the cell, a Florida judge has just blocked the release of a bunch of the Jeffrey Epstein grand jury files on Tuesday. So there's a lot going on in the background. As far as Ghislaine herself calling the shots, I'm not sure. Is it Les Wexner? Is it Jean-Luc Brunel? Is it perhaps somebody else that's a high-profile character we have not heard about in these cases? And when you look at the Clintons, they sure are like Teflon. For instance, we all know that Bill Clinton had a 20-plus year friendship with Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein was the personal White House projectionist from 1992 to 2000. This slither circle includes Harvey Weinstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein, Clinton, Spacey, and many others. So I don't know that there's an end game other than to stay out of jail and hopefully have this thing blow over with the help of deep staters like Bill Barr and the bureaucracy. But she surely doesn't want to be questioned. She surely doesn't want to be indicted. And she surely doesn't want to have to answer for her crimes that she took part with Epstein.
Did you see the 60 Minutes report, by the way? Yeah, well, what's your thoughts on that?
All right, so let's break it down. 60 Minutes did what I believe to be one of the best pieces in mainstream media journalism in the last 5 to 10 years. And this is one of the reasons we need them. Okay, you know, Jason Burmis does not have the resources to get the photographs of the cell where Epstein was killed, committed suicide. I don't have the resources to get the photographs pre and post autopsy, but somehow CBS does. And they gave a voice to Michael Baden. They raised some really big questions, including asking the lawyer for Nicholas Tartiglione why Epstein said he had been attacked by his client, and not proposing that it was in question, but that it had actually happened, and he had not tried to commit suicide the first time. Tartiglione's lawyer rubbed me the wrong way every time he spoke. As company a man, as you could imagine, denied his client had anything to do with that, said he tried to save Epstein's life. And then we fast forward to this next suicide. The guy has a ballpoint pen in his cell. He has a wire that appears to be, 6 to 10 feet in length from his respirator machine, his breathing machine, that he has next to him. That could have easily been used, and yet they said it were these ripped ligatures. There were 2 separate places where it seemed like they were tried to be hung and see if they had any strength. Both of those were highly suspect to me. And then the actual quote-unquote ligature that was used had, no deformation, no blood on it, although it appeared that Epstein's neck was bloodied. And on top of it being bloodied, the wound is at the lower portion of the neck. And remember, the 3 breaks Michael Baden has never seen, or Baden has never seen, in anybody that's committed suicide. And when you're committing suicide and you have this thing over your neck and it's your body that is causing the motion to choke yourself, usually it rides all the way up to your chin line, your jawline. And that was not the case with Epstein. And I really thought that CBS did a really great job with this piece. We've got another piece airing tonight that may be of the same importance on 2020 Ledge, where they're talking to Epstein's victims, including that very first person that reported him to the NYPD and the FBI all the way back in 1996, Maria Farmer. And it just so happens that Maria Farmer ended up in the comments section of my YouTube channel the last time I made a video about Ghislaine Maxwell, and she had some pretty chilling things to say.
Hey, did you see Ricky Gervais? Did you see his monologue?
All about it.
It was fantastic. I mean, he called out Hollywood right to their face. I mean, he was talking about the pedos. They call them in England. They call them pedos.
Yeah, pedophiles
instead of pedos. But I was really surprised. I guess he figured I'm not going to have the gig anymore, so I'm going to go out with my hair on fire. Yeah. But that was pretty interesting, to say the least, Jason.
Well, comedy is one of those art forms that we really can't lose because it is a reflection of what the vast majority of us are thinking but may not be willing to say. And especially in this cancel culture, this new culture where, anything can get triggered into manufactured outrage and you can be vilified for the slightest thing. And I just thought it was great. He's bringing up some crappy television series where there's going to be a season 2, spoiler alert, he doesn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. And then, he gets and they pan to the audience, man. You can see they're uncomfortable. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, he's your friend. Guess you'll have to ride your own plane here. I mean, he jabbed them 3 good times with that Epstein comment.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, we talk about the Clinton body trail. It looks like Kevin Spacey's he started to add some dead bodies here. What are your thoughts on, was it now 3 different accusers are no longer on the earth? And then, of course, he records the promo for the House of Cards, and he says, "Kill him with kindness."
Yeah.
And the next day, one of his accusers commits suicide. What are your thoughts?
Well, he was dead serious about killing him with kindness. And, a lot of people missed in that first video. And by the way, it's not really a promo for House of Cards as Frank Underwood's character gets killed on that show. It's a way for Kevin Spacey to garner media attention, positive or negative, and maybe send a message. I don't know. But when he did that Christmas message and he said that there needs to be more kindness in the world, and he was dead serious and to kill them with kindness, and then a pseudo member of the royal family ends up killing himself, and one that actually accused Spacey. A lot of people missed that in that first video from last year, he was drinking coffee from a royal cup. Okay, in other words, it had the royal crown on there and the seal, and some people said, well, that was a message to Prince Andrew. I don't know that that's the case. This guy who was outspoken with Spacey married into the royal family. So it's not like, he had been in these bloodlines forever. Obviously, he had a problem with drinking and depression, supposedly. But it sure is suspicious that Kevin Spacey's accusers just keep dropping dead and the court cases keep going away. And even more so, that he's kind of been on the outskirts of society, at least U.S. society. He's been out in the United Kingdom and filmed in Israel back in October. So he's keeping a low profile. But when he puts something so blatant like that out and mainstream media is picking up on the fact that his accusers are dropping dead left and right, you got to ask that question. Is there something else going on?
Of course there is. Of course there is.